It is a constant problem for many areas in the Las Vegas Valley, illegal dumping. When one woman saw it about to happen in her area, she was determined to stop it. Kim Passoff joins us live near the old Silver Bowl ball fields off Russell Road with her story. Kim?
Yeah, certainly no shortage of junk out here. Everything from a kid's bike to clothes to a big leather couch. The woman that we spoke to doesn't want her face shown on TV or her name used in fear of retaliation, but she says she is sick and tired of people dumping in the desert near her home. For a second time, she has caught someone in the act.
This has become a vast wasteland, couches and refrigerators and desks and junk. Every day it's something more and more.
Tons of trash, even drug paraphernalia, right next to the old Silver Bowl Park and ball fields where kids play.
It's hard for me to walk my dog out here and feel safe.
And not far from the protected Clark County Wetlands and Nature Preserve.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
The neighbor was out enjoying the park this weekend when she saw someone about to add to the trash piles.
I see a gentleman in a white pickup truck back up to this location and lower his tailgate.
She wasn't about to let that happen. She ran up and confronted him.
He told me some unfavorable words and drove off. And I knew later on that he was going to drive back at night, and sure enough, he did.
She tried calling 311 to report the non-emergency issue, but gave up after an hour on hold. Instead, she went into a Metro police station and filed a report.
They told me that they couldn't do anything legally because they're just going to document it because it wasn't the crime, so to say, wasn't committed in the presence of them.
She then reached out to Clark County commissioners who responded, saying they would work on getting it picked up. But she worries it will just happen again unless something changes.
Have more patrol out here, to more security.
She doesn't understand why people just don't put unwanted items on the curb during bulk pickup or take it to one of the many transfer stations across the valley.
If you have a trash bill, it's free.
And that neighbor did take a picture of the truck. She shared the license plate with police. She says that later on, driving through the neighborhood, she spotted the truck parked in front of a nearby home. Reporting live tonight, Kim Passoff, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.
And it is easy to find the nearest transfer station to you. We have a link under this story on our website, fox5vegas.com.